Hi and welcome to another video in my brand new Photoshop Essential Skills series. Now in this video we're going to be exploring the curves adjustment. Now don't forget, if you're a fan of the printed page, there is a free ebook to accompany the video. Just click on the link in the More section under the video to download it. Okay, let's dig in. Now the curves adjustment is similar to levels, but it gives us more power to control the shadows, the highlights and the midtones separately. Now because it's a more advanced tool, it's a little bit fiddly to use, but it is so worth the effort to master. Now there are many ways we can access curves. We can go up to the image menu and go to adjustments and select curves, or we've got the keyboard shortcut Control and M or Command and M if you're on a Mac. Now this gives us a destructive edit, so it will actually physically change the pixel numbers. This may be okay, sometimes we need to do this. Generally speaking, I try to work non-destructively. Now the other way we can get to curves is go to the layer menu, new adjustment layer and curves, and this will give us the curves adjustment but on an adjustment layer, so it's totally non-destructive. And lastly but not leastly, we could go in the layers panel itself, and this little black and white icon at the bottom of the layers panel, click on that and this gives us access to all the adjustments. And I could select the curves one from here, and you can see it immediately puts me on a curves adjustment layer with a mask in the layers panel, and in the properties panel it brings up the curves adjustment as well. Now in the image here you can see that the curves adjustment is at 45 degrees. We've not made any adjustments. This is the image as it is. Now to add a point to the curve, what we do is we just click and we add a point, and we can drag that point. Then if we hover over it, we can drag it up or we can drag it down. So we can drag it up to lighten or we can drag it down to darken. Now if you want to take the point off the curve, then you can click on it and press the delete key, or you can just drag it off the curve like that and it goes back to being at 45 degrees again. Now one of the basic adjustments that you would want to do is to add contrast to your image, and the way we do that with curves is we click a point up in the highlights and we put another point down in the shadow regions, and then what we do, we drag down to darken the shadows and we drag up to lighten the highlights, and that's adding contrast to this image. Now we could do it the other way around. We could decrease the contrast if that's what we thought was relevant, and we could do that by dragging the highlights down and dragging the shadows up. Now you'll see that when we move one part of this curve, it does seem to affect quite a lot of the curve on the other side. Now what you can do is, if you wanted, say, just to lighten the shadows but you wanted to protect the midtones and the highlights, what you could do is put more points on. So we could put 2 or 3 points on and gradually bring those points back down, something like that, to the 45 degrees. So we'll take that back up to the 45 degrees. So there we've now made an adjustment in the shadows, but we've protected the midtones and the highlights, because this has now have very little effect on what's going on above here. Now you need to avoid steep curves, so I'll just drag a couple of these points off. And let's say this curve, we go down here. So if you get any inverse curves, it does create some, well, whether you consider it to be arty or really crummy, really, but in my opinion it's not good. So that's one of the curves to avoid, anything that gives you a sharp change in direction. I'll just drag them off again. Now there are some presets. You can go under custom here and it does give you some presets, and these are good starting points. So I'll try, say, a lighter, and you see all it's done, it's just lifted the curve a little bit. I'll try a linear contrast, and here, yeah, we've just got a little bit of contrast. So you can go on and just tweak these just a little bit if it didn't suit. And we'll try a medium contrast, Ooh, yeah, that is quite contrasty. So basically we've darkened the shadows and we've lightened the highlights just a little bit. There's also an auto button, so if I click on the auto, it'll come up with what Photoshop thinks is the best arrangement. And all it thinks I need to do is just lighten those highlights a little bit. Okay, I'll get rid of that again. And finally, what we can do, we can actually change individual colour channels. So here you can see it says RGB, so when we move anything, we're changing things in all three channels. Now we can actually go and, let's say, choose the red channel. So I can now, if I want to add more red to this image, I can lift the curve up. And if I want to add the opposite of red, which is the cyan, the complementary colour of red, I can drag down. So up for more red and down for more cyan, and it works exactly the same in the other three channels. Again, I'll just drag that off and we'll go back to the RGB channel again. Now if you make an adjustment, let's say we'll pull this up, we'll have to lighten the image a little bit, and you want to see a before and after view. Well, there's two ways of doing that. You can go onto the layers panel and just click the eye, so the visibility eye on that adjustment, so you can turn it off and turn it back on. Or down here in the actual curves adjustment itself, this little eye with the bendy arrow thing, that's a preview. So if you click and hold down on that, that'll show you the before and that shows you the after. So before and after. Well, that's it for this video. I do hope you liked it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment underneath the video. Don't forget to check out the more area under the video for the link to any download files or free ebooks. And please click the subscribe button so when I upload a new video, you are the first to know. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.